my God, welcome back, everybody. So we'll be minus the professor tonight, as he is staying home with a bit of a headache and some misery there. But I can't believe we're on session 20. This is crazy. Crazy. And already someone's about to die twice. I mean, it's going to be great. Nothing bad could possibly happen.
Death
At
and
all.
evil. So nice, she tried it twice.
Yeah, it sounds really dark when you say it that way.
I'd ask, why does this keep happening to me? But I think I just never really learned my lesson.
This is true.
I mean, your matron just really wants to meet you.
Kind of feels like it, yeah.
I'm switching
So
matrons.
hard. She's trying so hard to meet you. Come on.
I became a warlock so I'd get cool stuff, and instead I keep dying. This sucks. I hate it.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, you do keep wandering off on your own. I mean, there's a little kind of choice.
I regret deeply not getting an armor. I regret deeply.
Oh, that's right. You didn't even you had all that armor that you could have purchased back at Darwin's, and you're like, nah, I don't need that. I'm
After a locket.
I was being
squirreled
cheap.
after a locket. No,
Fake
it was like,
money.
I'm going to buy this. Ooh, squirrel. Silver locket? Ooh.
Who's like, I can haggle it down, I swear. I couldn't.
I have 5,000 gold. I'll buy this 30-cent locket.
So, where we last left off, the team, having gained entrance to Darwin's Market, spent most of the mid-morning time shopping, acquiring some items and weapons, and more importantly, they'd acquired a portable hole, which they could use to hide the Star Shard inside of. The team, upon returning to the Prancing Centaur, began to examine the portable hole up on the roof of the Prancing Centaur, which afforded them an opportunity to discover rotting corpses inside the portable hole. Quite a few of them. They began to realize that whoever was the previous owner of this particular magical item was probably using it as a trap, but never really collected on whatever it was being used for. With this, they gained the support of Binder and the Griffin to, what's the name of the Griffin that he gave it? Something Beak?
Bright Quill.
Bright Quill, that's right. Why do I? Oh, I'm thinking of the one from Harry Potter. Buckbeak. I know, it's like the first time we've had a Griffin in our game, and I'm like, oh yeah, Buckbeak. With that, the portable hole was cleaned out and cataloged, all the items and everything retrieved from it. Meanwhile, while that was going on, Karina had wandered off into the Smolder Spire to make some investigations regarding for someone that she was looking for. She had a quick run-in with some individuals that chased her off. She waited for them to leave. They did. And when she went to check on what they had accomplished or what they had done, she found the remains of a teleportation circle that she suspected the wizard had used to steal away with the possible person that she has been looking for. She approached the teleportation circle to examine it, not noticing the fireball glyph that was written into the floor alongside it. As her foot triggers the glyph, an explosion can be heard off in the distance. All right, here we go.
Oh no!
Wait, okay. Before we roll.
What?
Do I have a time to do a cantrip?
I don't know. Do you?
Well, if that
Because
cantrip,
technically you were investigating the teleportation circle. So you were mid-action of something when you triggered the glyph.
I also, just a reminder,
Mm-hmm.
I leave no stone unturned.
Mm-hmm.
I had my patrons magic crow feather in my hand. So that's something, and I would like to try to, with that hand, hopefully instinctively, to do a Eldritch Blast to try and make it so the fireball would explode before it reaches me. And if so, I think it would be less damage than just being hit by a fireball.
That is a lot of presumptive communication. So the one thing because we know you did horribly on your deck save, correct? So you failed your deck save.
I did.
I will do this much for you. Because you would have recognized that evil's existence winked out. So you would have recognized the Raven was destroyed, which you would know to bring him back. So we'll say that causes you to take a quick pause of thought. And amongst that pause of thought, let's say your danger senses kind of go off. I will give you advantage on that deck save. So you can now roll one more d20 and try to save against the fireball glyph.
Okay. Can somebody say something really funny, get inspiration, and then give it to me? Does anybody feel witty?
Start the fire.
Thank you. I think Thorn deserves inspiration for that.
No. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
Karina started the fire in my best Dwight Schrute voice.
Okay, well. Oh shit, that's 19. With a +2. Okay, thank God.
So is that a 21?
Ooh.
No, it's not a 21.
It's a 19? Okay.
It's a 19.
That will succeed, so you will only take half damage.
Okay. Thank God.
But half of all 6s is still a lot.
No, it's not enough to kill me. You don't understand. I looked up what evil gods I can switch to that would demand me to do worse things, but I could still live.
So with a 76, the maximum is 42. I rolled a 36. So you take 18 points of fire damage.
Oh my God. If this was not for this, I would
Meanwhile,
have
all of you over at the Prancing Centaur could see a tall plume of smoke and a small explosion, like just this distant, and then you could see the smoke kind of rising off over in the distance of the smolder spire.
I was here the whole time. It wasn't me.
This was another person from this very group. Yes, we're the only people
Karina,
causing
as you
trouble.
back from the teleportation circle, the floor, the wooden portions of the floor lift up. The wooden portion of the reinforced ceiling kind of fall in. The door blows off, and the room is now on fire. So it blows you backwards, knocks you almost prone, but you manage to stay on your feet. And you're now looking at the beginnings of a fire kind of beginning to break out on the inside of this place.
Unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to get out.
Okay. You get up and you kind of move through the doorway. You come out into the hallway, down the wooden stairs, and back out front of the building, which is an old tavern or old inn that you had discovered. You kind of stumble out of the front, realizing that there's now flames kind of billowing out of a couple of the windows. You can see flames beginning to lick at the timbers that are kind of, attached to the cliffside spiral dwellings that are nearby. But since most of what's here is stone, the fire's not spreading too fast. Before long, you hear a bunch of feet or booted individuals off to your left. And you see some of the Jrusar wardens kind of running towards you. A captain approaches you. What's going on here? Is everything all right? You start getting well water buckets up there. Go and see if we can find other people to help. He just starts barking orders. Kind of grabs you by the arm, pulls you away from the fire and over by a building structure, and he kind of clears his throat. Sir. What happened? Who are you?
What form was I in again? I think it was Legolas.
Yeah, I think you're in Legolas form. Yeah.
I don't know. I was just I was gonna go inside. I heard some strange noises. I heard somebody screaming, and when I went inside, suddenly everything went in flames.
Persuasion or deception, your choice.
Deception, and since I have the actor feat, so long as I'm pretending to be somebody else, I have advantage, I believe, on deception.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good feat for a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's
I was
face it.
very happy
Karina's
for her.
shady as fuck. I mean, she's shady.
Oh, my first one was 19, so that's 26. So I can.
Nice.
The second one is not as good, so I'll start with
Well,
26.
better that you get out of the area. We'll take care of it from here. And, he just kind of guides you towards the walkway that'll take you out of the area. More wardens show up and some other individuals show up, and they start forming a fireman chain where they're passing buckets up towards the fire. And as you are about to leave, you see somebody wearing the warden outfit of Jrusar, but they don't look like someone who would wield a weapon, or they look almost like arcane in nature. As they arrive, they kind of join in by casting ice spells to kind of dampen the fire and put the fire down. But for the most part, they've lost any real interest in you. You're just kind of in the background of the crowd, kind of watching them put the fire out.
Do any of them look at all similar to the wardens I met earlier, or to any of the people who left?
Well, they weren't wardens that you ran into. They were.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they were individuals that were all wearing similar armor and had similar markings, but they were definitely behaving like mercenaries, but you weren't really familiar with who they might have been linked to. You recall hearing the wizard invoke the teleportation spell, the sound of a young girl kind of talking to them, arguing with them, and the wizard arguing with her, which enticed you to try to see if you could see who it was.
Oh, Evil did see that it was Corina.
Yes, Evil was able to go upstairs, fly in there invisible, and come back out and see that it was Karina for sure. So as far as you know, some wizard that was part of that group had snatched Karina, done a teleportation spell, and you had just were going to investigate the aftermath. You get the feeling that fireball glyph was set behind not only to cover their tracks, but take out anybody who was, making inquiries into what they were doing. It was a pretty coordinated effort. They had skill. They put a lot of effort into not being trailed. The building's burning, but the rock portions of the building aren't burning. You can see that the fire is definitely kind of winding down. Give me a perception check as you start glancing into the crowd to see if you notice anything.
20.
20.
Where were these rolls last week?
I know, right? As you glance around, you see a familiar elven individual that is a member of the Ivory Syndicate. You would remember he's the one that originally shot you over in the Course Fire.
Oh, the air genasi?
The Air Genasi. He's in the crowd. He seems to be with 6 other individuals. They are seemingly kind of enjoying what they're seeing. They haven't noticed you yet.
Bastards. Okay. I'm in no position to. I think I've learned my lesson a little bit.
Yeah, you remember him as Trafar Airswift.
Yep.
I think I'm just gonna stay. Kind of don't know what to do about. I think I'm going to transform into my most disturbing form, known as Smingle. And so long as we're surrounded by a lot of people, I'm going to approach them, and I'm going to cast Friends. And Smingle is also my sexiest form, just so it's clear. So I hope that gives me advantage.
So you're going to try to use Friends on...
You know what? Now that you're saying it, this sounds like a horrible idea. I'm not doing it.
I think Friends only lets you choose a single target. And he looks like he's with a bunch of individuals. And they seem to be admiring the building that's on fire. Like maybe they were involved somehow.
I'm gonna maybe observe them and see if one of them feels like an easier mark.
Okay, give me an insight check with that.
21.
21. They all look to be possible members of the Ivory Syndicate. While you know Trafar is pretty lethal, I'll say that there's one individual that's kind of not really joining in with what they're doing. They're just kind of slightly off to the side. They seem to be having a conversation with somebody in the crowd, not really paying attention.
Okay, Smingle is going to approach them. I promise that after this I will learn my lesson. But I really have to know.
I just don't think that's.
I don't believe
true.
you.
Yeah.
Smingle is going to approach them. She's gonna cast Friends, and she's going to say something along the lines of, "Wow, fires really get me hot and bothered, huh?" She's gonna try and flirt with him around Arson.
Exactly that tone. And exactly that tone.
That's very saucy.
That's a wisdom save, right?
Yes, but also again consider how befuddling the form is, please.
You come here often?
Befuddling,
What I see.
clever use of words, but befuddling is definitely not an advantage. Melody, you were going to say something?
No.
You good? Okay. You approach him and you start your conversation
from
about
this
that
far
way.
away.
You watch as the human looking, he's got brown curly hair, bit of a long beard that's kind of in like a what do you call it, braid, kind of like with a braid with some items braided into it. He's wearing the insignia of the Ivory Syndicate kind of around his neck. He's got the black leather armor on, just kind of like looks at you and goes, "Well, that's a strange thing to say in the middle of a fire, but you're interesting looking. My name's Brandon Kaysen. What can I do for you, friend?"
Brandon? Shunt.
That's inspiration from the dog.
Yeah.
Why, I was just kind of getting lost in the area when I noticed all the excitement. Do you know what's happening?
Oh, just another random fire breaking out. Nothing to worry about.
Do I get a sense that he's affected by friends at all, or do I get a sense that he is too wise?
His eyes are soft. His mouth is kind of got curled up edges to it. You feel the friend's effect is currently working.
Okay. Wow, that's so scary, but also kind of exciting, huh?
He throws his arm around your shoulder and goes, "It could be."
Yes. Okay. Well, what do you come here often? What are you doing here?
So the effect only lasts a minute.
I better hurry up. Okay. So, what are you doing here? Like, what brings you out here? You seem kind of too sophisticated for this dump.
Oh, well, you're being awfully nice to me. No, not really. This is just a place where I hang out from time to time. I'm just here with some of my friends, making sure some things are taken care of, and it looks like it worked. You know what? I gotta go get back with them. But you know what? Maybe we'll have drinks in the future. And he like pulls his arm off your shoulder, gives you a wink, and kind of starts walking back towards his friends.
Since his arm was around my shoulder, can I have used that time to take the token that Thorn gave me and try to place it someplace on him?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, give me sleight of hand as you do that.
And again, he is charmed by my Smingle wiles, so I would like that incorporated. I worked too hard on that character.
You know what? You can keep trying. I love the effort, but no, you're good.
Okay. So this is not doing anything. Good to know. I'll just be legal ass from now on. 14.
14 is enough to beat his passive perception. I'll say you slip it into his backpack as he walks away.
Okay, I'm gonna do toodaloo and then go away.
Yeah, he
take
gives
a
you
long
guns.
shower.
He goes,
Finger guns.
he's a complete douchebag.
Well, not what I was expecting to happen today, but I'm happy that that's the way it went. I guess after that, I'm just gonna go back home and stare at the ceiling for approximately 5 days.
Hey, we have
So-
some dead bodies for you.
No.
Yeah,
There's bodies to go through.
Yeah, I can't wait to read my notes next week that just says huge douchebag.
So
And
as you
his
guys
name-
just watch the column of smoke eventually fade and go away, like about 10 or 15 minutes later, you see a blistered, sunburnt, her hair's a little bit curly. You know how when the hair burns, it curls a bit? Kind of coming through the front door into the shop, up the stairs towards the veranda, where you guys are kind of all busy doing your own thing. She lets out a little kind of cough, a little bit of smoke coming out of her mouth, and she's back. Karina's back. She looks a little rough.
Look, you've been in the sun way too long today, Karina.
I think she's just like.
Do you want some aloe?
Want some aloe?
Actually, aloe would be great right now.
You almost smell as bad as what we pulled out of the portable hole. Come on, now what happened?
Is portable hole our new word for toilets?
No, there was the portable hole. Remember, we went to buy it so we could put the rock in it? It was full of bodies, like 30 dead bodies, rotten, nasty, falling apart, and soupy, gross bodies.
Oh, great.
Well, they're
think-
not in there anymore. We got them out, but
I think Karina had a very bad day. She almost saved the only thing she cares about, and then she fumbled so incredibly bad that she almost died, and in fact only did not die due to the DM's kindness.
The mercy of gods.
She's gonna go to her room and she's gonna start crying and screaming and throwing shit for about an hour, and then she's going to come down and have a serious conversation.
So you can go ahead and mark off another long or a short rest if you want.
Oh, fun.
Because at this point, it's late in the afternoon. It's still the same day as you guys went shopping, because you had gone shopping at Darwin's early in the morning at that point. So it's
I look
still
over at Melody. I'm like, is that normal? Is that? I'm not
Apparently-
around a lot of women, but
Like
Ah.
for like a a girl, I would say that was a little fast, but she might have sensitive skin. She's very pale.
no. I mean, the screaming and crying and all that with the door closed. Is that like? Should we
Oh,
expect this
yeah.
to be the new normal now? Because normal, I mean, she's dark and brooded, but she's not. That's usually internal, not external.
Well, when I'm doing something like this, it's actually because I want attention. So maybe I should go up and talk to her.
I'm taking my injuries.
Be my- I'm gonna see if I can't get Binder to take a look at these items we found. Because we did pull out 3 magic items out of all the junk out of all the dead stuff.
Did we ever figure out how much coin we got from all those coin purses?
We didn't get the number.
yeah, you
just
haven't
know we
counted
had
it
to-
all up yet.
Okay. Yeah, there's 10 coin purses in there, so
10 coin
I wouldn't-
purses, 1 magical longsword, 1 magical chainmail, 1 magical ring.
there was a magical
Otherwise,
ring. Okay.
yeah, it's just 3
Yeah,
magical
I
items
missed
in
that
there. And then the rest of the stuff was not magical, but it was stuff we could sell at least.
You guys have an armor there, right? Can you?
Yeah,
There was a
I got-
well, there was a chainmail, or
There's leather
there was
armor,
leather armor
studded-
too.
leather armor and studded leather both. And there's the chainmail, and with 4 cloaks, but none of them are magical. So
I'm okay with a non-magical one that just makes me like even 10% less squishy.
well, I don't think cloaks do anything besides just cloak.
To keep you
Move
warm.
that stealth a little bit.
Do you-
Unless
do
it's
you
a cloak of
already-
billowing, and then when you do the magic thing, it goes.
That's pretty cool.
So there was the
No, that's all.
chainmail, there was the longsword, there was
Chainmail,
the
longsword, and a
ring.
Yeah, those are the only 3 magic items out of the,
Yeah,
out
they
of the
were-
stuff.
There were 18
There were-
packs, no, there was 10 total.
17
or
18
daggers.
backpacks, 10 coin purses, 5 long swords, including the 1 magical, 3 longbows, 2 short bows. One starts with an M. What is that word?
A mace. Mace.
Mace. There we go.
Yeah.
8 daggers.
With an M. What is that word I
I
wrote
can't
down?
tell what I wrote. Let's touch that up a little bit. M-A-C-E. 8 daggers, 3 leather armor, 2 studded leather, 4 cloaks, 1 magical chainmail, 18 pieces of jewelry, one of which was a magical ring. So Binder can do 3. Can you hear them in the background? They're so loud today. But
It's not
they're
distracting.
distracting me,
It's not
but they're not.
distracting.
As long as they're not distracting you guys, but they're distracting me.
Now it sounds like a chicken is in your house.
Yes. Well, one of them laughs like a hyena, and the other one,
Ah.
yeah. You're on for the world right now.
That's just going to make it more hyperactive, dude.
I want to count the coin in the coin purses.
While you're counting the coin, I'll grab Binder to identify the items, the 3 items.
Okay, yeah,
'Cause he
because
can do it today.
that is built into his ability.
Yep. For 3 of them. And we just happen to have 3.
Yep. So, while Melody goes to talk with Karina, Eritrea, you count out 482 silver pieces, 86 gold pieces, and 12 platinum pieces.
Ooh.
You also find 5 small random pieces of jewelry that don't appear to be magical. They mostly appear to be decorative for the most part. And they look to be worth maybe about 10 gold a piece, or you could potentially sell them in the shop, either or. Well, let me bring up the other list because I had it up and then I forgot to keep it up. So we'll start with the ring.
Mhm.
The ring is called the Ring of the Twilight Flicker. It is made of dark iron and glimmers a bit with like a moonlight glow to it. When in dim light or darkness, the wearer can use an action to become partially obscured, gaining advantage on stealth checks for up to a minute. Once used, however, it appears that the ability cannot be used again until the wearer takes a short rest. And I can put that in the Discord later.
Yep.
The long sword is called the Long Sword of the Ember Fang. It deals 1 additional point of damage, of fire damage, when you attack your target. As an action, the wielder can cause the blade to ignite with fire for up to a minute. While ignited, the sword sheds bright light up to 10-foot radius, dim light for an additional 10 feet, and bonus fire damage of 1d4 when striking your opponent. It can be used once per long rest. The chainmail is called the Blessed Mail of the Dawn. While wearing the chainmail, the wearer gains resistance to radiant damage. As a reaction when struck by an attack, the wearer can release a burst of light. All creatures within 10 feet must succeed on a DC 12 con save or be blinded until the end of their next turn. The ability can be used once per long rest. Anyone wearing the armor will have a faint glow that will cast off their form for up to a 10-foot radius.
And what was the save on that?
Con.
DC 12 con.
Con.
Melody, you approach Karina's room. Door is closed. You can hear her kicking and screaming like she's pillow shouting. You know how like when you get mad, you put your face in the pillow and you're like, ah, just screaming really loud.
I'm gonna bring up like a little afternoon drink and maybe like a cookie and knock on the door and be like, "Hey Coco, how you doing?"
love it.
Leave me alone.
What's going on? Did you have a? Is it because your skin's so burned? I feel like we can fix that.
Okay, I think Karina realizes she needs to come clean if she wants to be able to accomplish things, and also because it's way past that point, and she trusts everybody, ish. So very dramatically, she opens the door, and she's gonna cast Tiny Huts. Mostly because now I can do that.
Ooh.
And also because in case somebody is crying or the stupid machine is like listening to us or something. And she's going to invite everyone. She's going to tell her tale of woe. And now we're all going to be on the same page. And I don't have to go by myself to bad situations again.
Everyone bring up some drinks. We're getting in the hut. People are like, what's the hut?
Does the hut have like a bunch of pillows inside? Is it like a fort?
I feel like the hut totally has like pillow fort sleepover vibes.
Yeah, if you wanted to, sure.
Yay!
A very big space. I mean, I think it's like 30-foot diameter space, but
Oh, that's
yeah,
pretty big.
it's decent size. And we'll say your invocation of Lehman's tiny hut kind of creates like this kind of, series of pillows and soft coverings that you can kind of have everyone sit in. Eventually, Forn finishes doing what he's doing. Eritreo finishes cataloging all the coins. You guys kind of all gathered together in Karina's room just in time to watch Karina pop up this magical translucent hut and then invites you in for a conversation.
Okay,
This is cute. Did you just get this spell, or have you been kind of holding out on us?
I just got it.
And do the pillows, can you take them out of the hut? I'll like try and pull one out, and presumably it like evaporates.
But each spell cost me like $50 to learn, so that's why I'm a little bit
Dollars. What's a dollar?
Okay, listen, gold is basically that. So yes, very dramatically, Karina regales her tale of woe. She really spins a yarn. She acts out the parts that needs to be acted out.
Oh, you're muted, Kurt.
Oh, I was saying, I feel like she shapeshifts to act out all those parts too. Like she shapeshifts to each character as they're talking.
Yeah,
she
she's
goes
finally
full on-
using Control Flame to do all the flame characters like puppets. So this was not actually a waste of a spell that I'm still regretting.
Yeah, she
Um,
goes
What do you
full-
tell us? Do you tell us like your full sort of backstory from the beginning, or do you tell us that girl that I am looking for, I found her and this thing happened?
She tells her tale from the beginning, and she also comes cleans about being a warlock, especially because the Raven Queen is technically neutral lawful.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, as far as being a warlock, she doesn't feel like it would terribly offend anybody. Probably.
Seems
Her
fair.
trail. Hopefully, the whole evil gods thing is okay with you. But yeah, no, she comes clean about the people she's chasing, the fact that the Air Genasi, that she technically herself was put there by an entity, for reasons that she does not understand, as part of some greater conspiracy, and that she's trying to kind of undo and correct it. She ultimately feels very bad for basically robbing that girl of her life and like fooling her parents into thinking that she is the real daughter that they love, and that her entire life purpose is basically to not be like the thing that changelings are supposed to be, which is this like pox on the family, but just to like undo everything and be of use. And that she was so close after years of just absolutely nothing to finding her, and then she fumbled so bad that she almost died. And that it might be connected, if it's connected to the Air Genasi, then it might be connected to the group that we're already after.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
Correct.
she mentioned that she also shows them Smingle. She mentioned that she flirted. She maybe next that part a little bit too much, but you let it go because it's obviously a very sensitive moment.
And she's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, my sexiest form, Smingle.
And he was into that? Okay, all right.
More people than you'd think.
Right.
So, like, Karina is close. Like, where do you think they took her?
I tried to kind of see if I can remember the glyph that I saw very, very briefly. That was like the teleportation spell.
Yeah. I would say anyone interested in trying to understand what Karina's describing from an arcanic perspective can give me either history or arcana.
Can I try to roll for that as well?
Sure, if you'd like.
12.
I got a 24.
History
Ooh.
or arcana?
Arcana.
Okay.
I
Mine
also
We got a dirty
Arcana.
one.
A
a dirty one.
Dirty one.
Yeah.
Rough. Also Arcana and 20.
Okay. Between Eritrea and Karina kind of reviewing it and the two of you kind of discussing it, it was a teleportation circle that was limited to the confines of the city. Through the description of the glyphs and the way that the spell was written, it's quite possible that it was a teleportation circle that appears to have led up towards the Chandei Quorum governmental building structures at the very tall point of the core spire.
Holy shit.
There you go. That's what your tiny hut looks like. Got pillows. a
Oh,
little-
I love it.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
So
awesome.
cozy.
It's just like a pillow fort, just like
Oh
the
my
way Karina would
goodness.
imagine it if she had a normal life.
I mean, I was laughing at
Oh.
the Regina George reference that Eritrea posted in the Discord.
Wait. Wait, where?
Oh.
That's exactly how I pictured
Burn
it.
book.
It's exactly like uncannily.
Are you actually Regina George? And that's what the whole thing is like.
Right?
Stop trying
Oh,
to make
God.
bitch happen. It's like an happen porn.
Right. Oh man, my whoa got missed. You kept telling your story of whoa, and I kept responding whoa, but I was muted the whole time, so it didn't work.
Oh,
Yeah. Right. So you're a changeling.
I knew
and
that.
I know, but you're planted. You weren't planted. You didn't plant yourself. You were planted by someone else
And
into
I-
this family.
Yeah, and I tried to describe some of the earlier memories where I kind of knew some of the other Fae that hung out with Karina before she disappeared. Do any of them sound familiar to anybody?
Melody, you can give me a history check on that one.
Okay.
I can too.
Can I give it an insight check?
Yeah, insight can work too.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
okay.
it would work.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a 14 plus 5 is a 19.
19.
Holy shit.
I was
Um,
in history.
What she describes to you doesn't sound like Fae.
Oh.
As she's describing the people that were a part of Karina's life, they sound less Fae and they sound more like they're from the Shadowfell.
Oh. Are you sure they were sound different than the Fae that I have come into contact with? I don't know, foreign, does it sound like people you know, or
No, nothing I can recall. Also, I don't really know much about Faye replacing people outside of like silly one-off jokes, but not this kind of lifelong whatever you're doing right now.
I mean, my family has a rumor that, like, I mean, not to burst another bubble, we're actually not quite as high up as I maybe tried to make it look. In fact, we used to be, but there is a rumor that my that my uncle, who had lost a lot of the family fortune and prestige through gambling, was, a changeling that was put there as a kind of sabotage. And sometimes that's a thing, a kind of rumor that kind of circulates among the nobility.
Is that true?
I have never been able to come in contact with him. I mean, he is kind of an outcast at this point.
But you mean Corinna's uncle, not your uncle, right?
She kind of looks at him in a sense of like, please don't make me further dissect my identity, man. This is clearly difficult for me.
I'm trying to be clear, because if it's your uncle, it's obviously a changeling.
No, Karina's uncle.
Okay.
I mean,
right.
yes, Karina's uncle. I mean, I don't have a name outside of Karina, so it's kind of tricky for me, but you get it.
Well, what were you called before you became Corinna?
I very much was not.
I can relate to that, oddly enough. But perhaps that's a story for another day. Now, you were tracking...
Wait. Why are you holding on us now?
You know what fawn means, right?
My grades are not as good as I led you guys to.
Fawn is just... It's foreign. Foreign.
Oh.
Fawn. I didn't have a name. I got picked up, all I knew when I was a kid was the witches, and they just had me run here and there. And because I was so unique looking, they kept calling me Fawn. And I heard Fawn, so I'm Fawn. Everybody called me Fawn. I don't have that's my name. It's Fawn.
Oh. Karina feels bad for you.
Wait, real Corinna or you?
Ah!
I mean, you don't seem to feel bad for much of anybody. That's why I'm just curious. And I feel very glad that you earnestly have a feeling that's not hatred towards me.
I mean, I don't hate any of you. You all saved me. And I have never told anybody about any of this. And I would not, unless I felt like you were genuinely good people who would be interested in helping. At the same time, morality is very relative, and if changelings, part of their nature is lying and deception. I have principles, but I'm not necessarily.
Come on now, don't paint with a broad brush. I've met my fair share of very delightful changelings.
Did any of them ever go anywhere as themselves?
Well, yeah, in the Fae. I mean, why not? That's what we did.
I have never been to the Fae. All I know is that in this place, there are no changelings in the open for very obvious reasons.
So Karina, where are you from if you're not from the Fae?
Can I remember anything? Because I think most of her early memories are just kind of very vague. I was in a place and then another place, and then eventually I ended up in the castle.
Yeah, your life was very transient. Almost the life of somebody consistently on the run to a certain degree, but not a real sense of urgency about being on the run. It's almost like that childhood existence of the necessity of constantly moving.
So I informed them of that.
Okay.
You think those other people, the other people you said were Fae who you were with, did you ever look at the Shadowfell? Or did you hear about the Shadowfell when you were with them?
Can I recall anything about the Shadowfell from that period of time?
Yeah, I mean, it'd come up a couple times. There was conversation about the Fae, the difference between concerns about those who felt the Shadowfell were often just very dangerous creatures, a sense of just snippets of conversation that just doesn't sound like they were conversations you were interested in. They were just conversations that you heard in passing.
Yeah, I informed them of that. And technically my patron exists in the Shadowfell, but is a little separate of it.
Well, so what do you want to do? It sounds like we kind of have a sense for where Karina might be. Do you want to go and try and find her, or are there people we should talk to? Do you think she was like in real danger? Did it feel like they were going to hurt her, or did it just feel like they were keeping her?
Oh, that's a good time to inform them about evil. So my familiar, known as Evil, was able to get inside, and he saw her bound. I assume it seemed like she was being hurt and transported. I don't know why, but so long as she is here, I mean, for the longest time, I was not even sure if she was alive. So long as she is here, I know that, like, I have to go find her. If you guys are available and willing to help me find her, I would be eternally grateful. You know, my gratitude is unbroken, and I will help you with whatever you need in life.
Until we need to buy something.
Well,
And like he smiles and winks at you. He's
Yeah.
he's being like friendly now. Like
okay.
it's like until we need to buy something, right?
If after her parents get her back, they still want to give me money, sure. But yeah, if you guys can help me find her while we know where she might be, I would be eternally grateful.
Boy, it'd be great to have somebody who knew how to do a scry spell, but unfortunately, I don't have the abilities. Did you
Same
tell
here.
me that you dropped the thing on the other guy?
Oh, right! Thank you. I tell him.
Yeah. All right. Now, who was that guy?
What was his name again? It's something like
Brandon.
Brandon.
It
Brandon
was
Kaysen?
Braden Kaysen.
Kaysen. A man of distinguishing taste.
Right. Now you said he was with these other fellows, one of them being that shifty bastard that shot us.
Yes. And they seem to be, again, aware of the fire glyph that destroyed everything and was supposed to kind of take me out, and happy that it worked. So, you know, in some way involved in this.
Is it possible they think you might be someone else?
In fact, it might even be likely. Then I kind of shift a few times over.
I'm just wondering, because there's at least one, maybe two other shapeshifters caught up in this mess we've uncovered recently, right? Now, if they suspect that someone who's a shifter is covering for Karina, perhaps they suspect that that person's also involved with these things these other shifters are involved with.
It's possible.
I take you at your word that you're not involved, but at the same time, if that's what they're trying to accomplish, and if this whole business about a shifter uncle gambled away all your money, I mean, if this is a way that perhaps the greater houses keep the lesser houses down by employing these kind of doubles but after they've abducted somebody, well, it seems like it'd be a right easy way to stay on top.
Entirely possible. I think right now I feel an intense sense of urgency. Again, and I kind of show them the thing that like shows me where she is, so long as I have her locket. It seems like the fire from earlier somehow managed to like affect her enough that she lost those things. And for now, at least, so long as I'm within about a mile of her, I'm capable of seeing where she is. If
Now-
it seems...
Look, you said you think that that teleportation circle went to the higher levels of the Chandei Quorum. You know, we do have a skiff now. It would be tricky, but perhaps we could do a flyby and see if you can't get a read on it. You know, I wouldn't suggest stopping because I imagine airspace around the Quorum is very tightly regulated, but we could, we're fairly new to flying and skiffs and all that stuff, and I'm a bumbling idiot, so if I'm behind the wheel, I could be getting us in trouble. Melody looks like she likes to party. We just got a party barge out of control, Perhaps we
Sure,
could put on the show
is
of a
the
party
most
barge
efficient
out of,
way.
I mean, just for verification's sake, because now if we do this, if we're able to do like a flyby, and you can pick up on her being nearby, then we do verify her location. Look, parking and landing on that spy up there, I imagine is going to be quite difficult. But if we can just go past it within, you said a mile?
Let me double check that it is within a mile. Sorry. Actually, it does. I did not. As per usual, my notes are a little lacking. I think it was a mile, right?
I think it's
What are you
forward.
referring to?
The compass.
Yes, compass up to within a mile. Yes.
Yes.
So we
yeah.
just got to zig and zag around a half mile near to the upper levels of that tower, and you can get a quick read on whether or not we're there.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll do my best, and I think Melody can as well, to sell us as some pleasure seekers had a little too much in the bottles and got a little hazy flying through the wrong airspace.
I obviously love the party plane plan, but could we also walk up near the tower and see if we can sense them nearby?
Especially if it's a mile, yeah.
My understanding was the Chandei Quorum's at the top of the spire, and we are nowhere near the top of the spire right now. And I remember trying to get into the Grey Makers. We had to have all kinds of checks and balances and everything else just to get back to that area. And that area went further into the core spire to get up to where the rest of that was just at the base to get in there. So, I mean, we can certainly try, but I'm awfully concerned with how close we could get.
All right, that's fair.
And then just before we get started, would you mind maybe spying on the guy from before to see where he is now?
Right, sure. Yeah, I got it. I'll whoa, hang on. I almost got completely sidetracked. Can we move, Professor? Can you get the rock into the portable hole while we're doing this?
Yeah, already getting started on it.
Can I take the studded armor leather?
Yeah, here. I mean that's all just sitting out. But the whole point of getting the portable hole is to put the stone in the hole, right? And we were cleaning it out. We never put anything in it.
Yeah, we'll say Thaddeus, the Professor Jabbletross, is currently working on that.
Okay. All right. But before we leave here and leave the stone unguarded. So, right now, he kind of sits down and does his little eyes white, and I'm going to burn the token that's in the backpack. That means I can see and hear from it for a minute.
He's clearly in some kind of tavern or a place where people are celebrating. There's a lot of noise, a lot of drinking, gambling, but then you don't notice any windows. You get the feeling he's in some secret Ivory Syndicate location. You could see a lot of people at this location as well. And they seem to just be drinking and gambling.
Right. So it's like a celebration going on. It's a lot of drinking, Sounds like some gambling, some dice rolling, coins moving. But there's no windows. I'm not sure exactly where, but there's no windows there at all. Seems like everybody there is part of the syndicate, though. So wherever their underground studios might be.
Can I summon evil?
Yeah, take about an hour to do it, but you can do it.
Oh, okay. It's not worth an hour. I wanted to see if like maybe any of those like might be the same people that he saw. Did you see anybody who looks like Corina there, or looks like they might be tied down in any way?
You, the best that you could see there was Trafar. You definitely recognize the air genasi.
Yep.
This doesn't feel like it's located up in the Chandei Quorum, so you didn't see any sign of the wizard or the young Corina that was described, although that young Corina would be 15 years older as well. So once again, going off the changelings, going off, Corina's appearance, you didn't see anyone that looked like Corina that was there.
Wait, where would she?
There were no windows. So I imagine if you were at the top of the spire, I imagine that's.
Well, she went missing 15 years ago, right?
Yeah, but then that's why I took her place and kind of grew in her stead.
Right.
So your appearance is like a projection of what you think Karina would look like.
Right.
Makes sense.
So Foreign doesn't see anyone that would look like how you've projected what you think Karina looks like now.
It makes perfect sense.
Even in fantasy, some of the medical physics apply.
I disagree. I think I'd be perfect at this. I think I know everything.
So you're like Karina's helicopter mom stand-in then?
No,
I know.
Let's not psychoanalyze me right now. We have bigger fish to fry.
She's got too much going on.
Right. So look, hey, before we go anywhere, we came out pretty good with that portable hole. I mean, Corina, thank you for the extra money for that. I do believe we got plenty of stuff to sell at the shop right now. We'll make a pretty penny off of it. We also had 3 magic items, though. Actually, Eritrea, how much gold and coins did you find?
482 silver, 86 gold, 12 platinum. So we each get about 96 silver, 17 gold, and 2 platinum. There'll be a couple extras we could, possibly throw towards the payment.
For the shop. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, I mean, in this one we actually came across in the right way. We made a legal purchase. And you ever take stuff to a pawnbroker before? They got some really interesting stuff you find there. So
yeah, that was her mistake for not looking in the hole and finding those things, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, if she smelled inside the hole, I imagine why she didn't go in the hole. Frankly, it was terrible.
At what point are we gonna give this a name that's not a hole?
That's what it is, though.
At some point, like an evil person will scry on us and be like, "Those perverts."
Well, maybe that'll keep people away from us.
We're walking around like, "Hey, you got the hole on you?"
Jesus.
Did you pay the troll? Did you pay the troll toll to get into the hole?
After the Lord of the Ring thing, I'm turning into
Always
Danny
so.
DeVito and I'm sticking to it.
That's your sexy column with Danny DeVito.
It's the Lorax, but Danny DeVito, right?
Yeah.
Just a little orange guy with a big yellow mustache.
I'll start practicing on my Danny DeVito accent now.
You said you needed some armor. Here, I got some studded leather armor. They had some studded leather in there. It's not magical. I apologize. Now, we did have some magical armor in there, but it's chainmail. I can't really make use of it, but it's some pretty magical stuff. It's what they call that, the
Blessed mail.
Yeah, the blessed mail of dawn.
I'm not really a blessed kind, but maybe somebody, let's say you're a trio, who is a little bit more on that end of the magical scale.
It does
I
have
think I should
great
take
vibe.
I'll take the blessed mail.
You've also taken a few hits, right? So
I might disintegrate when I wear it.
But now, Corina, this ring might be helpful for you, though. It's the ring of the Twilight Flicker. It gives you You can make yourself partially. What's the word I'm looking for? I lost it. Obscured. It can make you partially obscured, like once a short rest, and you get advantage on stealth checks. Now I've got these fancy boots that we found off that fella a few weeks ago. That gives me advantage on the stealth, so I don't need it. I can't double that up, you know. But I figured this ring might help you. Now this long sword, it's got a fiery flicker to it. You can activate it, and it catches on fire. Looks all fancy like, and I'm not a real sword wielder myself. I got my guns, and that kind of keeps me where I like it. Now, but Melody, if that might be something for you, because I know I did see the professor bought that big ass hammer. We'll see what he does with that, but it does fire. It does an extra fire damage on regular attacks. Now, if you ignite it, it does even more fire damage, but you can only do that once a long rest.
Ooh, well, sounds fabulous.
Right. So
I'll take that.
I believe they call that Ember Fangs.
I'm going to call it something else.
That's fine. I mean, it says Ember Fang on the blade, but sure.
Does the armor raise my armor level at all, by any chance?
If you can wear medium armor.
Well, right now my armor class is 12.
Are you able? In the box it says proficiencies and training. What kinds of armor can you wear?
Oh, I'm so confused. Wait.
So on the left side, where you have your like strength checks, and then down that's your passive perception stuff. The next one down says armor.
Right now I have light armor.
Because you're a warlock, so you can use.
So you can
light
use leather
armor, simple weapons. So yeah, you can use light armor.
So I think leather armor is light armor, but studded leather, is studded leather light or medium? I'll double check it real quick.
Yeah, right now you're not wearing any armor.
Yeah, hence the squishy.
Yep.
Yeah, studded leather is light armor.
Oh, yeah.
So here, I'll hand that to you. And
Hell yeah.
I kind of want to flavor it into smoldering studded leather armor just because what has happened to you, but you know.
I'll figure that out later.
What was the radius of the burst of light that comes out of the blessed male?
The burst of light was a 10-foot radius.
It was 10 foot. Okay.
Yep.
D12 cannot see.
DC 10.
DC 10.
Yeah. DC 10 con save.
DC 12.
I wrote down 10 on the blind. But when it happens, you have to sing Blinded by the Light, you know.
Okay,
All right, Karina, your armor class is now 14.
Ooh.
I'm invincible. Time to run back into the fire.
Hang on. Now, look. Yeah, so you're just a little tougher now, right? Okay, you're not invincible.
Nothing
right?
can stop me.
Sure. Okay, right.
I'm gonna jump off the skiff.
You want to try this? I pull my pistol out. You want to try it out real quick?
I think we have better things to do than shenanigans. But the moment we finish the important things, absolutely.
Right. All right. Well, we better head up to the air spire so we can get the skiff. Professor, bring the hole with us, you know, just in case. So that way we can roll the hole up, and if we
Do we really want to be bringing this thing out of the shop? I mean, is it? I mean, if something happens to us, is someone going to figure out who we are, and it's going to potentially become a liability?
Well, at least hide it. Don't leave it out, you know.
Well, I wasn't going to leave it out here. I was going to hide it in one place no one would ever look, and that's. I mean, we could put it in Karina's room, and no one ever comes in here.
Because of all the rat poop, yes. I do have wrist pocket, which is like a pocket dimension, but would putting it in there like cause a really bad reaction?
Yes,
Probably.
it definitely would.
Okay, so maybe not that.
I would tell you what. What if I go up and grab Brightquill? What if I get Brightquill to give us a ride up to get our skiff, and I'll come down and get you guys. Save us a little on the silver, you know.
All right, Born, quit tapping something. I can hear it.
Sure. If it's okay, then I'll try to use that time to kind of like fly around in my Recorcran form and see if I'm like catching anything.
My point was to borrow Brightquill to talk to Brightquill about the Fae more, because clearly Brightquill thinks that the Fae still exists, even though there's nothing in there with him.
Oh,
But you don't know that, though.
True.
But,
yeah.
Brenda doesn't know that, but everybody
I guess if you're gonna be out for a while, I can try and resummon my Raven. And he is sometimes useful.
I mean,
once
I just
you-
imagine it takes time to get from where we are up to the Aerie Spire, get the skiff, and get back down.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let's say we all just manage our time very responsibly and use it for all the important stuff. And I'm gonna also do false life so I can get some of my. Actually, no. If I do passive rest, maybe I don't have to waste it. If I do short rest, I don't know. I guess I would like to get to there as soon as possible, so whatever feels like the fastest and most efficient way to do it would be, I think, preferable.
So, do you guys have a plan?
Yeah, I'm gonna borrow Brightquill to go get the skiff, and then come back and pick everybody up, and then we'll party barge it around the core spire. We'll kind of set off around other ones first, so that we're, not just beelining to the core spire and be like, ha ha, gotta put on airs and all,
There's no docking stations up at the core spire. That's only at the Aerie Spire.
Right. The point
let's-
wasn't to land at the core
let's just-
spire; it was just to fly around it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let's just all go.
Close enough.
Let's just all like to sort of like shortcut this. Let's just all go walk to the skiff and get on it.
Right.
Does that work?
Sure.
Yeah.
So with that, you guys head out of the tiny hut that is in Karina's room. You head back out into the shop and back out into the spire area. You cross over the Fates Walk Bridge, take the gondola ride up to the Aerie Spire. Sure enough, you come across your skiff that's docked on one of the minor stanchions. Thaddeus, a Traumaton used to pilot it. Who
No,
pilots
it was Jalbatros, the pilot.
It was
Jalbatros,
Jalbatros.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So Jalbatros kind of configures and does all the mimicry of the controls. You feel the skiff detach, and before long, you head back up and around and up towards the height of the core spire, staying within about a half mile of the major structures that you can see.
Mhm.
And the core spire up here looks very different than the other parts of the spires down below. You can tell that the stone buildings are more refinedly made. You can see administrative structures, an administrative tower kind of in the center as well. The council's tower where the Chandei Quorum will meet to discuss policy, managing the city. And as you're kind of cruising around, you could see people out on verandas and porches. You can see people walking amongst different parks and other things on this level of the spire. So far, no one seems to notice or care. In fact, you witness like a couple other skiffs kind of whip on by, heading down towards the below area of the wilds down below, or heading over to the Aerie Spire. It would seem that people do seem to shuttle in and out of here, and that's when you see that there are some buildings and structures within the Chandei Quorum administrative setup that seem to have small landing areas where they can bring their skiffs in. That might explain why most of the skiffs that you saw down in the ruins were owned by Chandei Quorum members as well,
including the one we're on.
including the one that you're on. Yes.
While we're up there, I'm just, I have the compass out and I'm trying to see if anything pops up.
Yeah, as you hold the compass out, you start thinking about, because now you know a voice. Are you trying to think of the wizard, or are you trying to think of Karina, or what's your focal point? What's your focus that you're trying to think of?
I believe it worked by the thing, you need something that the person owned, and
Correct.
I have Karina's amulet.
Oh, that's right. You do have her amulet. Okay. You focus in on it. You feel the amulet kind of vibrate with magical intent. And in the tall center tower, about midway up, you get a ping that Karina's there.
I tried to kind of triangulate and center exactly where she is.
Yeah, you point for Forn. Forn, you can use your scope. Kind of look in that area. Give me a perception check with advantage as Karina's pointing at the mid section of the tower as she kind of gets a ping off of Karina's presence.
Thank you for the advantage. I rolled a 1 and a 19. So
Jeez.
I really,
that's quite the disparity.
Riding the rails there, So the 19 plus 8 is a 27.
Yeah, so you bring up the rifle and scope it out, and you look down in the direction that she's pointing. There's a circular veranda or exterior walkway that surrounds the mid-level. You could see stairwells that lead up to another one, and in between that, you see about half a dozen guards, wardens that are keeping a lookout on this level. You can see a couple open windows. You watch as a door opens, and the almost spitting image of Karina comes walking out the door as if to lean on the railing and look around and then walk back inside the structure.
Right there. It's you. It's not you, but it's you. It's right there. But damn, there's a lot of guards. What did you do? What did she do? What is going on?
I do have message that's should be okay within 120 feet.
That will expose you, though. That brings
we'd have to zip down
gift
close.
coming.
Yeah.
Right now, you're a half mile away. To get this skiff within 120 feet, the guards will see you.
All right. We're okay. Look,
they'll see the skiff, whether or not they recognize you or care who you are. That's a different matter. But they'll see the skiff.
All right, Karina, if you need to get close, look, we're drunk. We're having a pleasure cruise. We're having a good time. All right? Now, Professor,
should we just crash this thing?
I'd rather maintain the skiff, but we can. The Professor, Professor, I know you're uptight, right? But just give us a little weavy wave down through there, right? Not a straight line, but just,
I believe
I'll kind of grab the handle of it to struggle with him specifically to make us be weaving around.
No, Porn. I don't want to bring this up, but I feel that I have to. Jabatross tells Karina, hold on for a second. Porn, 99% of your plans so far have been completely fucked. Do we really want to make such an expose and a complicated attempt at doing this, or should we simply just? Now we know where Karina. Do we just call her Karina? Yeah, we'll do that. Now that we know where Karina is, why not just wait till night? Sneak on up there. I mean, you're better in the stealth mode than you are in complex strategy like this. You're way too redneck to be doing these complex strategies. You should be focusing on the part that's so important. You just disappear into the darkness. That way no one knows what you're trying to fail at doing. You know what I mean?
I also believe that we have
fuck you, Professor.
I believe we have the documentation of the dead Chandei Quorum member that we hold out of the
you do have that
the
info,
beast.
yeah.
We could kind of use that to try and infiltrate them. I mean, we can try to kind of I can see if there's anybody I can imitate, and we can see if we can get you guys the outfits necessary to kind of just blend in there.
Yeah,
Well-
we could have reasons to be up there.
I hide really well, pretty well. I ain't gonna say really well. I hide pretty well though. But I would say, you know, if we come back out here with the skiff at night, you know, we could fashion a way to get back in here, I imagine.
We do have the skiff of the Chandei Quorum. I can also try and stay out here and just kind of keep an eye out to make sure that she's not moved. And just kind of try and be in stealth mode and hope that they won't notice me. But honestly, I feel like I'd be outclassed and die immediately, so maybe not that. See, I can learn. I think Albatross, like Professor Albatross's idea, it seems best. Korean, Melody or Crow, how do you feel about this? Do you have any strong angles to infiltrate the Chandei Quorum?
I agree. It feels like if we just try and go in really aggressive, we're going to be in trouble right away. But I think we're
Warren's
pretty
like putting his guns away.
Yeah.
Again.
we're pretty charming and pretty cute. I think we could work our way up here. We have reasons to visit the Chandei Quorum. You know, maybe we want to visit the girl who was supposed to be resurrected. I mean, maybe there's a way for us to come back up.
For
Trey, I
religious
know,
purposes. Yes, go ahead.
I know like some clerics have a way to contact people that they know from far away. Is that something you can do?
Not right now, unfortunately.
Ah,
Maybe sleep on it.
yeah.
Yes, I think I will.
Well, then look. Perhaps we let's head back to the roost. And what if we're going to try this infiltration? It's best to do that, I imagine, at nightfall. So if we go now and get our rest, just start our rest now. We can wake up and it'll be in the middle of the night, and we'll be ready to go.
Reina really hates the idea of leaving now that she knows exactly where she is and she can be moved at any moment. But it does seem like the smarter thing to do.
I mean, you got the compass. We'll bring the compass with us. We're not going to go in blind. You know, we'll make sure that, you know, we're doing this the right way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to be hasty again and fuck it up, so this does seem like the smarter thing to do.
All right, Professor, you win. He gives the finger wag to run back up to the Airy Spire, and we'll pay our dues again and go park the skiff and head back down and get some rest.
Okay. So you guys plan on doing a long rest for the upcoming evening attempt? So get some,
Yeah. So we're gonna
Okay.
go to sleep earlier to get our
Okay.
rest in, so that we wake up like
In the middle of the
1
night.
o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay. So you guys head on back. You park the skiff back at the Airy Spire and take the gondola ride back over to the Fates Walk Bridge and come into the Prancing Centaur and go ahead and mark off your long rest as
Hell yeah.
Jrusar falls into nighttime.
I assume
Ooh,
you're
so
gonna
pretty.
resummon evil right now, also, right?
Yeah,
Time you can do it. Yeah.
and I
Since
would
we're
like to introduce everyone to Evil, and we can maybe have fun
Or
with
you're
that
like, I
another
knew I
time.
saw that bird.
I pull the gun out like it's today.
Evil is actually an incredibly chill dude, I promise.
You see Brightquill kind of a lip kind of lick across his beak, you know, as he stares
you-
at it.
And if you eat him again, I will gut you.
I thought y'all were friends. Now hold on.
Brightquill looks around.
His
"Oh,
friends
fine.
don't-
I think that's definitely worth the challenge."
Just-
And he kind of leaps out into the air and courses up to the roof and kind of settles into the roof as just kind of keeping a watch on the shop. You guys hear Binder close the shop, locking the door, pulling the curtains shut, bringing the shop closed for a night.
As we
82
land
gold is what you guys made in the shop this evening or today.
So that
82?
money's
Yep.
money's going straight to Grung.
Okay. So what do we owe Grung now?
300 some and change. 82. Yeah.
I did mark off also because we had the extra platinum and gold that took off 21. So I had 21 to that 82. So 103 gold we're essentially giving him now.
Okay, so
So 21 on top of that. Okay, that's 307.
307 left to pay.
307
Yep.
left. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and take our 5-minute break, and then we'll do the second half.
All right.
Right on.
Cool.
Sneaky.
Ooh, I like the music.
Mm-hmm.
Very mystical.
I have a pretty cool plan, I think. It would look really cool. It'll probably fail, but it'll look cool.
It'll look cool.
Well, that's what's most important.
Right?
It's all about how cool you look.
It's all about the look.
It's just like how like the Marvel the hero landing is actually horrible for your knees, right?
Yeah.
But it looks really cool.
Yeah. For style, you have to do it.
Alexa and I did our cake tastings yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
We're kind of considering some advice from you guys for toppers because we kind of want to do like a castle topper. And Alexa thought maybe just go through like Hero Forged or something.
Oh,
Or do you buy like a D&D figurine of a castle?
you can for Hero Forge now you can do statuettes. They're like 2-inch
Oh.
tall, and so I ordered actually a statuette of Earthen's last look, like with the seaweed head and
Oh, fun.
with his thing, because I was like, this is to remember, Fool's Errand by. I'm gonna have him sitting up there, but
Oh.
you could make Xanth, and
Oh, yeah. Should it be just like Xanth and Eritrea?
I love it.
or Melody and Eritrea.
Yeah.
But they're like $100, but they're 3D print them in color,
When
and
I
they're
type-
like 2 or 3 times the size of the standard mini.
I feel like what we need is like maybe 2 towers of a castle.
You
I'm
can
already-
go really
do
bad
quick-
Game of Thrones and make the twins, right? But
Oh.
No.
that would be a bad sign for the wedding, though.
Yeah.
Would be
The
a
red-
weird,
put the
a weird
red
It'd
wedding.
be a red wedding. Red wedding.
Yeah,
too.
put the
I mean,
crown topper on top for the red wedding. Yeah,
just
that
do the
would be-
twin.
yeah.
No, the twins is the top of the cake, right? And then you have
Yeah.
like little tiny Rob Stark with his direwolf head, like really small on the cake.
Yeah, Melody, you may want to ignore foreign for advice. You guys
Or-
wake from your long rest. What's the plan? It's now nightfall outside. It's dark. You can see the spires are all lit up above you. Now the nighttime crowd has kind of come out, and Jrusar is busy, but not as nearly busy as it is during the day. What's the plan?
All right. Starters, I think we should repeat what we did earlier, but it's nighttime now, so we can be a little less conspicuous. Here, take one of these cloaks, Eritrea. You're kind of shiny right now with that armor. With that armor, I'm telling you, just wrap this cloak around you.
Is it
But-
possible? Oh,
Oh, I was just go ahead. Yeah.
I guess we did talk a little bit about maybe because we do know kind of what the Chandei Quorum looks like, and we do have some of their like official paper stuff. So we might kind of be able to pass as them if we just want to try and use the skiff to land there and try to blend just long enough in order to find her.
Well,
Or do we want to just not even land in that area, try to disguise ourselves before we get there, and then just kind of not have them even know that we're there? Which feels safer.
Well, I was
Ryan,
gonna-
you're muted.
Aw.
Now
We can
that
almost
I'm
hear
all-
him through your mic, though.
Now that I'm all rested, I can send her a message via sending.
Ooh.
Oh.
So in short, I can send a message 25 words or fewer to a creature I have met or described by someone who has met. Here's the message in its mind, recognize the sender, it can answer in a like manner immediately. The spell
I
enables
will-
target to understand.
If it
So
would
we
help
can
to
find out if
send it,
she's still there.
Yeah, we
Well,
can check if she's still there.
and I would help by pointing out the difference between Corinna and our Corinna, because they look very close to the same but not the same. Like she has a weird freckle right here, and you don't.
Yeah, no, I am kind of confused by why I'm prettier, but that's
Well, one of you was brought up in all the fancy and nice stuff, and the other one was a prisoner.
Yes, that's true. Okay, jokes aside, let's get this really dramatic thing going so we can maybe just be done with this and successful. So successful
Okay.
and done. Best
So
kind of success.
what is our plan though? Like
Well-
the area is gated, right? So if we want to walk up, we have to have a reason to go through the gates. Otherwise, we have to find a way to come in that's not through the gates.
It's nighttime, and I can hide pretty well.
Treyo and I cannot hide well.
Right. So I wondered if you all went to start a, I don't want to say disturbance because I don't mean anything negative, but if y'all were to make some kind of commotion,
I could just show my vest.
trying to get in, and perhaps the professor and Corinna and I are circling by in the skiff. I've got some rope. I figured I could hang off the skiff and get dropped off, so to speak, nearby there. Now, Corinna, if you'd like to land with me, I am pretty good at hiding in the dark, but I'm not sure about your skill there. But with that, and I've got the power to pop in and out of places. I can't bring anybody with me though, so I'd have to get her to come out.
What is your stealth? Like, what is your stealth stats?
I have advantage on stealth first, and then I have a +7 to stealth as well.
Could we maybe be inside what we need to rename from whole to a different name? And then if you carry it, you can kind of just carry all of us in while using your advantage in stealth. And once we're inside, we can maybe locate her and get her out.
Yeah, there's about 15 minutes of air in the portable hole.
Yeah.
Does anybody have like a spell to help us with breathing?
I mean, technically, if you have underwater breathing, it would have the same effect.
Does anybody have underwater breathing?
Or breathe underwater.
But now look, if you and I sneak in with the portable hole, and you're able to get her, and both of you into the hole, and I can get back out.
What if?
I mean, in 15 minutes or less, y'all be all right, right?
Yeah, as long as it's quick, and then once we're in, I guess there's just the question of how we explain our presence there.
I maintain that we should try and pretend to be part of the Chandei Quorum and hope that nobody kind of catches us. I think hopefully my skill set can help kind of like give us some advantage in our disguises. I know we're kind of a monthly crew, but
I certainly don't.
I don't like this. I don't like anybody's smile here, so I'm going to stop suggesting those.
I just don't tend to pass well for hoity-toity types. No matter how hard I try.
What if I can disguise myself? What if I disguise myself as either the Dawnfather priest or that woman who interrogated us, and that allows Treyo and I, as like religious people there for some religious reason, maybe we're like administering rites to prisoners or something, to walk in, maybe unquestioned.
That's pretty good.
That interrogator lady was pretty scary too. I
She
mean,
was pretty scary.
she had a very wide berth.
She had a vibe about her. Yeah.
People stayed very far away from her.
Yeah.
How welcome would she be up there?
It's a fair question.
Oh, you're talking about the Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, if Treyo and I were able to get in that way, how would you three get in? Would you stealth your way in?
I would. So I think Ford thinks that we need to keep Jalbatros on the skiff for the getaway.
Okay.
I feel like that's going to be our easiest getaway, is to get to the skiff and take off.
So Jalbatros is basically waiting in the skiff.
Because
whatever
it's nighttime. The skiff doesn't really light up, right? Doesn't have like running lights on it or anything like that, you know?
I mean, the
The
broomstone
brimstone engine might light up a little bit.
Yeah,
but
the broomstone engine would get off some light, and there's some arcane effects that would give off some light from it, but it's pretty. It's the other thing too is you've never seen them fly at night either. For the most part, as far as you know, people only fly them during the day.
all the more reason to sneak around.
Jalbatros could also fly over on Brightquill, and then, you know, Treo, Jalbatros, and Brightquill can all fly, and maybe we could fly away if we need to make a quick escape.
Mm-hmm.
I can also, I think I could also summon a steed that could fly.
So I can also, you know, if Brightquill's doing this flying thing, and I can still do the rope, you know, the hanging from the rope infiltration, you know, and if we do take the hole and get her in the hole and get out, it would take some catching, but you know, I feel like I could get away there enough, but I would need to be caught on the other side. Because I can teleport, you know, but not real long distance.
How far can you teleport?
What's the range on that? It's 30 feet. So my thought was, if I land on top and teleport inside, drop her in the hole, roll it back up, teleport back out, and take off.
How are you
getting distraction outside?
Well, that's why I said if you guys go and do your distraction, if you are the distraction and I'm able to pull this off.
But how are you getting into this area and to the tower?
So remember, there was 2 verandas, and there was kind of the walkway in between. I would land on the upper veranda, not the skiff, but I have me on a rope hanging underneath it. The skiff's just got to fly near it, and I can hop off onto the veranda.
What if
these boots don't make any noise when I land?
What if just instead of the skiff, because it sounds like it's weird to fly a skiff at night, we just do, you know, Brightquill?
Yeah, sure, certainly. And Brightquill doesn't glow.
Right.
I think. You don't glow, do you?
Only if I choose to.
Okay, please don't.
I will give it my best.
I did say please.
You did. You did. I didn't know you knew the word. Quite fascinating.
Come now. That hospitality is always here.
Well, I can only go by what Professor tells me.
Well, he's a weird one. Right, so we got our plan down. Now, the question just remains if whether or not Corinna is going to be flying with us, riding with us, or she's going to be a part of the distraction. If we do send a message, I recommend some kind of a code word in your message, but something that Corinna would know is tied to the real Corinna.
And are we so sure that the real Corinna wants our Corinna to find her?
I don't know.
I'm worried. I'm also worried if I send her a message, it will raise more alarm bells. We might get ourselves into a trap.
Only one way to find out.
Unfortunately, Tally is dealing with roommates.
Right? You ate my cookies. I didn't touch your
cookies. Those were fish tank. Those were fish tank wafers.
Right? Those were biscuits for the dog. That's why they tasted funny.
That's why they tasted like bone meal.
But it
So
is
I'd
nice.
say from the conversation you guys originally had with Karina, you get the feeling that the most common reference of knowing each other would be how they discovered each other when she was surrounded by what your Karina called pixies or fairies that were playing with the changeling and the other Karina, where they kind of met that first time. So that's definitely one solid connection if you wanted to use that as a reference to the Karina that you're trying to save. You also know recently that your Karina said that the current Karina was taken through a teleportation and ended up in the Chandei Quorum Tower somehow. So that's another reference that could be a way of affirming who she is, as well as affirming, to Eritrio's point, you're kind of operating off your Karina's instinct of this person wants to be saved, but does she really want to be saved? Is something else going on? There is a little bit of weirdness there. It would appear she seems to be, held against her will, but she also seemed to have free reign to walk out onto the walkway and walk back in. I mean, she, from what you remember seeing her for, and she didn't look like she was under duress. She just looked kind of bored and kind of contemplative when you saw her.
Be a case of Stockholm syndrome.
She could be bored because she's trapped in a tower and not in a land full of pixies, too. But we still send her the message first. We got 25 words.
Well, it'll obviously be coming from me, but speaking on Karina's behalf.
Mm-mm.
And that's the thing. How do we distinguish that it is coming from our Karina so that she knows?
So that's why I think you have to say something like, I'm the friend of your double from the Grove or something like that.
Yeah, that's good.
But that's 9 words.
My
so we
two
have
favorite spells.
words.
I'm writing it out.
Sending, and Speak with Dead. 2 of my favorite spells. Got to really work at how you write it out.
I'm writing down everything we're saying so I can cut out the words.
It's also still my favorite example of Speak with Dead in the D&D movie.
Oh, yeah, that was so good.
I gotta rewatch that movie.
Especially when they forget that they only, gave him 4 questions. Not 5.
Was that a question? Yes.
So true. So
It
true.
was great.
So maybe it's something like, I'm a friend of your double from the Grove. Are you in danger? Do you need rescue? Where are you? Provide details.
Yeah.
Is that too intrusive?
Well, I mean, if she's actually in danger, then I feel like it would be
Yeah.
appreciated. If she's not in danger, then it's creepy.
Right. She's been watching me.
But I don't know if things are really as bad as we fear. I don't know how casual we want to be about this. Like, hey, just if you need help, feel free to reach out in 25 words or less.
Leave 2 candles in the window.
So I'm the friend of your double from the Grove. Do you need rescue? Where are you? That's 16 words.
Only 20. Okay, now question is, does 25 as a hyphenated word count as 1 word, or is it 2 words?
You can hyphenate it as a single word. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Only 25 words needs to be in there somewhere.
I would-
So we don't get a rambling answer that disappears, before we got an answer.
Provide details, 25 words or fewer.
Welcome back.
Sorry.
been workshopping a message to your Karina double.
What is the
Well, she's the
message?
double. We're coming
Alright,
to kill
so-
you.
Yeah.
Haha, just
Um,
kidding.
So I'm the friend of your double from the Grove. Do you need rescue? Where are you now? Speak only 25 words. Provide details. That's 1, 2, 3. 6. It's 22 words.
I love you.
XO,
Honestly,
XO.
See you soon.
no, we're
Hugs
coming
and
for you. Like, we'll save you.
Well-
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, we'll save you. I like that. Yeah,
We'll save you.
we'll
Yeah.
save you.
Okay.
There's a lot of intensity in this. We were telling while you were gone, we were like, is she actually in danger? It seems
Yeah.
like she was
Does she
kind of
want to be
like in the
rescued?
tower. So
Is
but it seems
Karina?
like Karina's
Was
pretty
she, was she wearing like
yeah.
a golden dress near a minotaur-looking guy,
Did her hair look really
and
nice?
like next to a giant library? Like they were getting ready to go
I don't
dancing.
recognize
And,
the
and were the
reference.
plates and dishes singing?
Yeah, right.
Oh. Man, every time I'm like, wow, that must be some really niche fantasy reference.
The Minotaur threw me off.
The most niche Disney reference of all, you know.
Ever.
A golden dress and a minotaur. Is that
Yeah, a
Luigi?
minotaur-looking guy. A minotaur-looking guy. He had horns, you know.
You guys watch as Eritrea invokes the sending spell and begins to recite the message. Go ahead and read the message in full for me, Eritrea.
I'm the friend of your double from the Grove. Do you need rescue? Where are you? Provide details. Will save you. Speak only 25 words.
Who said, oh my god?
There's a
Oh,
few
okay.
seconds that go by. Yes, I do. I understand. I'm in the central tower's holding cell. I don't know much else about what to tell you. Say hi to Karina. Get here soon.
She
Please?
recognizes me.
And then it just
I reiterate this all to the team.
Yeah.
Karina's like fully crying.
Yes,
Hi. I just turned to hi, Karina.
Okay, so
What's
she
the
needs help.
What's
Let's
the
go.
significance of saying hi?
And I'm again gonna. Evil is with us,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Yes, Evil's back with you.
You want to
Um,
send him?
Sorry, mistress, but not much I can do
Hey.
when I'm in the gut of a of a griffin.
What if
That
you
was fun?
What if you send Evil ahead of us and let him infiltrate to wherever that room is, and you can find out? I can land. We can do our infiltration and exfiltration, and hopefully
Can you put a
survive.
token on evil so that you could see inside of whatever you're seeing?
Oh, that's
Oh,
clever.
Oh,
He
that's
takes
Well,
inspiration for that.
I
one.
can. Karina can also see through his eyes, right?
I can see through his eyes.
Oh, you
Well,
can see
except-
through.
Within
No, except Karina is limited to distance.
yeah,
Yep,
except
yep.
it has to be a distance.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'll pull out one of my molars. Look, you got a weird bird, and I hand it off.
Am I supposed to eat that?
That would not be nice. It would not be ideal. That
Uh.
is intended so that if you get into wherever the real
Well, here,
Corinna
try it
is-
on my foot then.
right here, wrap it on there. Gnaw it off when you get up there. But yeah, if you get in the room there, I can see and hear from that for a minute.
Okay. Evil kind of like gets up on the perch to fly out the window, looks back over at Karina, and then takes a glance up at the griffin and goes flying off into the night.
I feel like Bright Quill snaps at him as he takes.
Give me
It's
a
like-
stealth check, Karina, for evil.
He has +2 for stealth, right? Because he's
Yep.
just like a normal crow stat.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's a 2, so that's a 4.
4. I see he flies out the window. You can feel the connection with him. You also then feel the connection gets snuffed out.
Do I feel like maybe something hurt him? Like,
Oh, he was destroyed again.
yeah,
Can you feel it? Just kind of blink out.
he was destroyed.
I'll go on and activate my tooth then.
Your tooth?
Yeah.
As you activate it, it is amongst some stones and a wall and a walkway, very bottom of a tall wall. No sense of being inside the building structure or tower. Whatever got him on his way there.
It's possible that somebody already kind of knows about us, or it could have just been one of the eagles.
I'll look
Oh.
over at Jalbatross when she says eagles.
I don't know. I mean, if I was a feral bird, I'd eat other feral birds. Evil looks pretty feral.
Don't you listen to a feral bird?
Sometimes I listen. Sometimes I just like to talk to my creatures to make fun of you, Fawn. I mean, it's all about what you feel like doing the day that
You know,
gotta be done.
but I can talk to creatures. You know that, right?
Oh, I'm sure you talk to lots of things, Fawn.
As a ranger, do you have any kind of like ability to communicate with animals and see if somebody else could maybe have seen what happened or might be able to infiltrate instead?
I have beast sense for a willing beast for the duration of the spell. I can see through their eyes and hear what it hears, and continue to do so until I use my action to return to my normal senses. While perceiving through the beast senses, I gain the benefit of any special senses they possess, though my own person is blinded to and deafened to my own surroundings.
This might
What's the
kind of...
What's the range on that?
It's just concentration up to an hour. I have to touch the beast, but then it's concentration up to an hour.
Are there just kind of wandering sparrows around?
I'd go for a bat, but sure, sparrows.
Yeah, bats are good.
You guys are just like hanging out on your veranda looking for wild animals to come by.
Actually, why don't we
It
head
might
up?
be... I'm sorry.
Why don't we head up first and get it? Well, shall we start the plan in motion and then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get going.
So, are you two gonna be the distraction then?
Sure. If we need one.
I think just that the fewer guards we can have around us, the better off we're gonna be. And if you and Air Trail are the there for some, well, if you're that Inquisitor lady, they're gonna expect why you're there.
I mean, if you're there, if you're pretending to be people who are going into the prison and you just get into the prison, that kind of feels like if that's where she's being held, that might get us in there faster.
She described it as the tower holding cell. So it didn't get described as a prison.
Oh.
And where
Now-
you saw her tells you that she's in the main Chandei Quorum tower and she was free to walk out on the walkway. So you don't get the feeling she's in a prison.
If we can get her to come out on that walkway, we can really get out of here quick.
I have message to up to 120 feet, and it can technically go through walls, but that's still
So-
getting 120 feet in range.
Right. So if you and I land on the upper veranda of where she was, if that's 120 feet range of her, we can have her go out onto the veranda below. I can pop down, throw out the hole, drop her in it, roll it up, and pop back up and take off. But again, the fewer guards around, the better we all are. And I would like to circle ahead of time to make sure that we can get an eye on how many guards at least are on the verandas.
I have a spell that I can use to distract people if we can get up there. So, Treo and I can work on that. We can either come up with an excuse or just do something crazy. While you guys are flying in from the side.
Perfect.
I like it. Sounds good.
I can still use sending one more time too, if we need to get in contact with her again from a farther distance.
Well, you have one of my tokens. So if we get in that much of a bind, if we get in a bind, Corinna and I can send you a psychic word and let you know to pass the word along. It's nice to be able to talk without talking.
Yes.
Can I think by any chance of any being that I can transform to, which would require less air?
What do you mean by I mean, it's a good question. Give me a nature check on that one.
Not bad. 10.
10? I mean, hippos can hold their breath for a long time. You know about that. I mean,
Then no.
Yeah,
dolphins,
I mean, it's
sperm whales can hold their breath,
but would be hold their breath for being out of water. It's.
What about a tardigrade?
Just incredibly small, super tiny.
But surviving.
Can only be
for
humanoid-ish things.
You could survive anything.
For hundreds of years.
Man, that's how I should play the game. I should become a tardigrade and just survive the entirety of it without doing anything.
Oh my god, that is so good.
Okay, well, I guess the answer is no, so I'll just try to be stealthy.
Okay.
Look, just if you're that concerned about it, well, my thought was if you go down there with me, but you can't really hop down. But yeah, never mind. I was going to say if you could pop down there with me, you could get her to come to you and go. You know.
Yeah, and actually getting her out of there might be also tricky. So if we're gonna use the air in the hole for anything, it should be for that. Do I know any? Because I do have rap sense. Does that come with any ability to like do any kind of transport?
Read rap sense again for me.
I believe it's only
detecting.
Yeah, it's just detecting portals.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just allows you to detect them, not necessarily like use them or produce them. It's just you just have this extra sensory perception of where a portal used to be or where inactive portals are. But other than that, it doesn't allow you to really activate or utilize a portal.
It does technically tell you if you succeed, which is like a big if, how to activate it, but it's a
Correct.
huge if.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I tried my cards. I think that's about it.
Why don't we kind of like maybe start the plan and then we'll see how things unfold.
Yep.
Sounds good.
So who's the distraction? Who's riding Bright Quill? And who's doing what?
So I'm going to hang under Bright Quill on a rope.
Okay.
So that way Bright Quill doesn't have to land. I have to land, right?
Gotcha. That's
He just
fair.
has he can 100-foot rope. You know, I won't be out 100 feet right now, but we'll slide down the rope when we're ready to drop off. Let him fly up, slide down the rope. Yeah.
I can go with Thorn and I can become near a Korkra or a Fae if I can and just kind of try and float down unnoticed.
Okay. So I got Thorn being carried, Karina's going to turn into an Aarakocra and follow alongside Foreign as they head over there. The two of you aren't the distraction, though, are you? Or who's the distraction?
That's me and
Me and
Treya.
Melody. Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, I do have invisibility, and invisibility isn't just for me. It's like I can do it for another person as well.
Well, hold on to that because we might not need it. You have your ring, remember?
At the 3rd level, you can target additional creature. So I can theoretically, with 1 slot, I think, do both of us if we don't want to risk being noticed before we even get there.
But hold that
Then-
for if we get in a bind. Only if we get in a bind. I
If
don't
we
want
get
to
in a
use it.
bind, they will know to look for us, and then it's like kind of over. I think our best chance is not even getting in a bind.
How do we get Corinna if we're invisible?
If we're invisible, we'll find a way of getting her, but I think it might be better for us to go in invisible.
Well, I have a spell that can make myself invisible as well, so.
Okay.
All
Are
right,
we
and
ready?
I think so. So I think the plan is you guys are flying in. Treyo and I are going to try and go up. Either we can go up through the gates, and I'll disguise myself as Inquisitor Elia, and we'll tell the people at the gates we need to go up because we're visiting someone, and then we'll get up to the tower and make a distraction outside the tower while you guys are flying in. So maybe give one of us a token so that
Yeah,
you can
Trail's
communicate with us.
got one. Mhm.
Okay.
All right, you guys fashion a harness for Brightquill to use to be able to carry Foreign. Karina, you turn into your Aarakocra Foreign. You're going to be invisible, Karina?
I think because I don't have the advantage on stealth, that like I have 1 per short rest. I think I might as well just start invisible, and then I can be invisible for, I believe,
An hour, I think.
yeah, which
So I would hold it until we get close.
yeah.
Okay. So you two take off the veranda and start making your way up towards the Chandei Quorum heights of the core spire.
I have the hole. I brought the hole with me.
Okay. You
Yeah.
have the portable hole. Thaddeus will travel with Melody and Air Trio to be a part of the distraction. So the 3 of you head up towards the gondola that takes you up to the beginning of the walkway that winds up to the top of the platform that allows you entrance into this area. It's a familiar platform because it's the same gated entrance that you use to get into the Greymakers because they have a residency and this is where their auction house was. As you arrive, people are going in, people are coming out. The gates are open.
Oh.
The guards just kind of nod as 3 of you walk through. As you walk through, you look up to see the Greymakers auction house is covered in scaffolding and other repair work that's going on. It says closed temporarily, kind of on a sign out in front of it. There's all these garden walkways that go in different directions. The 3 of you look at where the tower is. You begin going in that general direction. You come to another fenced-in area where 2 guards are standing in front of an iron gate. You can see the iron fence extends around the base of where this tower sits. It's closed. There doesn't seem to be people coming in or out. You can see people on the grounds that look like they're dressed for like council work, and it's like 1-2 o'clock in the morning by the time you kind of get up here. So you get the feeling that this is like a late night area where people just kind of stay up all night. But it's not overly crowded. You haven't approached the guards yet. The fence that surrounds it is a wrought iron fence. It's roughly about 10 feet tall. There's a lot of bush and undergrowth kind of growing into the garden space. You could see people walking in and amongst the garden space. What would you and Air Trio and Thaddeus like to do at this point?
I think that I will have, before we got up to the first gate, disguise myself as Elia.
Okay.
Duration is for an hour. So I'll disguise myself as Elia and will also channel divinity for my persuasion checks. And I'll approach the gate with Treo and Jalbatros behind me and say, we need to be admitted. I need to speak with a prisoner being held above with respect to certain heresies, and just try and be kind of scary.
Yeah, you can give me persuasion or intimidation. Your call.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. All right. Well, that's a 2, which becomes a 10, which becomes a 17.
Okay. The guard looks at you briefly. I was given no message, but do you have any summons or written information that I can authorize to allow you in?
Do we have one of the, from those people who we found the bodies of?
I mean, you have some kind of like just papers with the Chandei Quorum kind of like header and wax seal on it. Just like documents that you found on their bodies. It might pass for what you need to do.
Okay, I'm gonna hold one of those up and say, I don't have a lot of time. This is urgent. You're impeding the work of the temple.
What? Don't get so upset, of course. Opens up the gate. Run along if you're in a hurry.
Elodie is scary good at this.
The three of you go into the garden walkway, and you're going up the long walk towards the stairs. You see an iron door where the guard sees you coming and nods and opens up the door. The three of you make it inside. You're now in the foyer entrance of the base of the tower. A female warden is sitting behind a desk. There's stairs that lead up, and there's doors that kind of lead probably out into other parts of the lower tower. She gets up and kind of looks at you. Who are you, and what can I do for you?
So I think this is the point at which, if Foreign and Green are in position, I would start probably demanding to be let in with no paperwork and try and kind of
this
make
is the beginning of your distraction.
Yeah.
Karina and Foreign, you're using Brightquill's using the thermals to kind of glide and silently head in. I rolled a 19 for Brightquill's stealth. And he's kind of using the winds to kind of bank and glide. At the moment you guys cross over the edge of the core spires embankments and where the beginning of the Chandei Quorum spires kind of begin, Karina, you go invisible.
And again, I can make another person invisible if you would like to just like save a spell slot. And it would not like change anything for me at this point.
I think we both have not a lot of spell slot. So
No, what I'm saying is I'm going to use it on me regardless, and it's not going to affect me because it has to be at the 3rd level because of the way my stupid thing is set up.
all right, go ahead.
So if it's,
Right,
it
I'll
will
be-
make
I'll be
zero
invisible.
difference.
Yeah.
So with that, you and Foreign go invisible. Brightquill speeds up. Karina, as you can see, Brightquill, he banks along the shadows between the walkways. The walkways are 12 feet apart from low to height. The guards are kind of blasé about their responsibility. They have no expectation that anyone can get up here. They, with all the guards down below, they're kind of looking and keeping an eye out. But Thorn, as you have to let go of the rope to land on the walkway, give me acrobatics or athletics, your choice.
Okay. That's going to be, I think it's acrobatics. Yep, acrobatics 15.
15. Karina, you and Thorn land on the same spot of the upper walkway.
And I have the boots of elven kind that make my steps silent.
Okay. The two of you begin to follow the walkway stairs down to the lower walkway.
Oh, I want to stay on the top walkway.
You want to stay on the top one?
Yeah. Because I'm going to Misty step down to get her,
Okay.
so that we're as little distraction as possible. But as we land, it's like, okay, Corinna, send her the message now. You need to message her right now. Get her out here right now.
I sent her the message of, it is us. Please come outside. We are invisible at the moment, but we will take you with us.
You hear a reply. Okay, I'm coming out on the walkway now. The two of you are up above, so you look down. You've got guards on either side of you that currently aren't paying attention, but I do need the two of you to make stealth checks, if you would,
Sure.
please.
Certainly.
This is where it gets dicey.
Every time. Why do I roll doubles on checks and not attacks?
Is it a good
But-
double?
It's a good double. It's a good double.
Okay.
It's a 16, double 16s, but that
And then-
means it's 23 for me for stealth.
23? Okay.
And I have advantage because
You
I'm
have
invisible,
advantage because
correct?
you're invisible. Yep. you have
Thank God,
advantage
because it was a nat
because
1.
you are-
That's a 12.
Okay.
You're also using your ring that gives you advantage, but probably I don't know if double. Probably not double advantage.
Obscures. Yeah, and it can cause advantage on stealth, yeah, but
Only in initiative
It's already
rolls,
invisible, yeah.
unfortunately, in combat encounters.
Okay.
So it's that moment as Thorn is looking over the edge and Karina starts looking over the edge with the expectation of seeing the door open and seeing the other Karina walk out. Karina makes just enough noise looking over the edge that there's kind of a creaking noise underneath her. The two guards turn and hear it and they look, but they don't see anything. They start walking towards you from opposite sides. They're kind of holding their spears and walking kind of. The one guard talks to the other one. Do you hear that? The other guy is, yeah, I thought maybe it was you, but it sounds like it's coming from over here.
they're the
Yeah.
ones on the veranda
Um,
up below us or above?
No,
Oh,
on either
same
side of you.
veranda. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I use prestidigitation, however you say that word, to just like create a sound from a place that's like on the other direction that make it seem like maybe it was just like a cat
let
or
me-
something like that?
Yeah, let me check one thing.
I don't like that you're checking something.
I just want to make sure. I want to make sure the prestidigitation doesn't break the invisible effect.
Uh,
I don't think it does. Prestidigitation would be considered a cantrip spell. So if you cast prestidigitation, it will break invisibility.
oh no. Then I guess. Uh,
Okay, I rolled a 3 and a 7 for investigation. So they
Oh.
literally are within just like a hair's breadth of the two of you, like looking around. You even feel like them, like you could tell that they had garlic and onion for dinner because like the breath is right there. And they just kind of shrug their shoulders, turn, and go back to their positions. At that moment, you hear a door open creak, down below. And as you look down, you see a woman that looks quite a bit like you, Karina. Not exactly, but quite a bit like you. Come out, and she nervously looks up and around as if expecting something. You hear one of the guards kind of turn to look at her and just kind of shrug his shoulders and go back to keeping an eye on things. So you
uh,
can see her; she's down below you.
So I'm going to, like, to your token, say, fly off the veranda and get her. And I then will Misty step down to the veranda behind Corinna, and unroll the portable hole.
or I can
okay.
also. I mean,
So
I can
I'm gonna,
also
like,
make
so that way-
invisible at
Well,
this
the point is you fly out and you can tackle her into the hole,
Um,
and then we'll get out. Like, we'll
If you
get out.
make her
quick.
invisible, you'll become
Bright
visible.
Quills. Yeah,
I can.
it's okay.
I mean, I have one more spell slot. Honestly, if I'm physically holding her, I can just make us both invisible and fly away. I don't think anyone will suspect anything.
Can you carry her?
What's your strength, Karina?
Why am I weak? My strength is +1.
You've got
So just
Eric
tackle her
Ray
into the hole. Like I'm gonna boop
Fabius
down.
with you,
Yeah.
and you
Okay.
now engage in an argument with this guard captain. Give me either persuasion, deception, or intimidation. Your choice, whichever one you think you're better at.
Okay. And what I'd like to be doing right now is casting Enthrall, which is a spell where you weave a distracting string of words. In this case, kind of like Karening on this guard. Cause creatures of your choice see within range to make a wisdom saving throw. And if they fail, they have -10 to wisdom checks, to wisdom checks, including perception and passive perception.
Okay. I'm gonna bless Melody while I'm at this, just to give her a little extra boost if she needs it. For
Okay, she's got that D4 for attack rolls and saving throws. I'm gonna roll for the captain's wisdom save.
Okay.
That's gonna be a 3 + 3 is a 6, so that will
All right.
fail.
So she fails, and I'm rolling. I guess I'm rolling intimidation.
Okay,
That's a 17 again.
17. He seems caught off guard by you.
Mhm.
And you're being kind of loud and boisterous. Forward in Karina, you can now hear Melody way down below because it's echoing up into there. And she's being like very forceful and kind of gruff and loud, which distracts the two guards on the lower veranda. Like they kind of look down over the veranda's edge to see if they notice where this yelling's coming from. So they're currently distracted.
So
Thorn, you drop down.
I say go, and I Misty step down and unroll the portable hole behind.
You unroll the portable hole. I still will need a stealth check with advantage when you land.
Okay.
Just to make sure you don't.
Yep, that's a 22.
Okay. It beats their passive perception. So you're now invisible behind her. She hasn't even noticed you yet. And then you roll out the invisible hole behind her.
The portable hole, yeah.
Or the portable hole.
And I'm going to message her, like, he is over here. Please step into the hole.
Just tackle her into it. Both of you guys, come on. Just, like, fly off and, you know?
Okay, I do that, I guess.
Okay. Give me a stealth check as you do that, Karina. With advantage, because you are invisible.
That's a nat 20! It's a 22.
Yeah.
You use your Aarakocra form and you fly down. Grabbing her is considered an attack. So as you grab her, you tumble, like you and her, like it's like her eyes go wide. She's confused as to why this Aarakocra is grabbing her. She gives out a kind of muffled peep, but as she does, the two of you tumble into the portable hole. Forn quickly rolls it up. You're now in pitch black. You're inside the portable hole. It's black. It's dark. You've got 15 minutes of air. Forn, as you roll it up, the two guards suddenly look over their shoulder and kind of, but then, Melody's voice pitches a little bit higher. She's pissed. She's like threatening to have the guard arrested for heresy.
I take off running and jump off the veranda and holler and call for Bright Quill.
As you go jumping off the veranda,
I've scooped up the hole. Okay.
What?
You're like falling?
Yep.
And
So my plan is to Misty Step onto Bright Quill when they show up.
Yeah, you're falling.
Yeah.
You're like falling. The air's catching you. You're falling.
Come on,
And then
Griffin.
you feel like something hit you from underneath, and Bright Quill like snags you on his backside, takes you up into the air, kind of banks into the shadows. He was forced to stay in the shadows because I rolled shitty on his stealth. So he had to come down lower and wait for you to fall more. And then he was able to make his athletics check and catch you underneath as you were falling. And then he banks and starts tailoring off into the darkness and begins to head back towards the prancing centaur.
And I'm going to message Eritreo, package received.
Okay.
Package received.
Man,
I
this was a
kinda-
really successful mission.
Yeah, I nudge Melody, kind of like give her like a little head nod, like we get the hell out of here.
What is it?
Listen, I understand the urgency, but we don't have time for peasants like these.
Uh-huh.
We'll go to the higher authorities. And
This
we-
is outrageous. You know what?
Yes.
Fine.
It just storms
You'll
off.
be hearing from our bosses.
Why does it so often feel like Eritrea and Melody, if they chose to be immoral, would be the like ultimate evil of this game?
Foreign and Karina will get back first because Foreign gets back with Brightquill, and out on the second floor veranda, you
I
unfurl.
immediately
Yeah.
unfold it to let them out. Yeah.
The two of you watch as the light opens. Foreign helps the two of you out. Foreign, as you stare at this other Karina, it's uncanny. There's minor differences that maybe your Karina didn't like anticipate, but for the most part, they look fairly identical at this point. And the two Karinas stare at each other with a kind of strange kind of notion on their faces, and they both stare over at you, Foreign. Melody, Thaddeus, and Eritrea, you're on your way back at this point, but you haven't gotten back yet because they were flying back, so they would have gotten back before you.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna, as soon as we get out of the Chandei Quorum area, we'll drop that form,
Okay.
and maybe I'll separate from Eritrea so it doesn't seem like
That's
I
fair.
feel
Like the
like-
three of you split off into different directions and circle back. Before long, Foreign and Karina, you hear the tinkle bell of the door opening, and all five of you are gathered up on the veranda level. It's like 3:00 in the morning at this point. Binder's shut down below in his sentinel mode, keeping an eye on the store. But all of you are back together again.
I transform back to my changeling form.
oh
Karina, oh, it's you.
And then I hug her.
Oh,
Aw.
yes, this is really awkward. And she kind of hugs you back, and she kind of pushes you back. Why are you looking for me? I mean, it's been 15 years since we last saw each other. And what's your real name?
You were taken. I was put in your place. Your parents didn't even know that you were taken. What do you mean?
Well, who put you in my place?
Well, when we were kids, there were those people, I thought they were Fae. And you guys would go out to play, and I would take your form and kind of take your classes and lessons, remember? I kind of just took your place to do all the boring stuff, but then one day you just never came back.
Yeah, they were, they always described themselves as fairies and pixies. I didn't really understand what they were. I was kind of a kid at the time. I just thought they were fun creatures. I was taken, by a rather interesting looking wizard. Well, I don't know if you would describe him as a wizard, but he had like a mechanical eye and mechanical limbs. When I last saw him, he had to leave in a hurry to take care of a problem that he said that he was hoping to come back from, and he never did. I lingered in his fortress in the Hellcatch until recently. Someone by the name of Regina Green fetched me, brought me back to the core spire, and evidently they've been trying to figure out what to do with me ever since. I'm not really sure why I was taken or what purpose. It's always kind of confused me all this time. But you freed me. I'm back. We're together. We're much older, aren't we? It's been a while.
She hugs her again.
Yeah,
and
she
just
hugs you
fully
back.
crying.
Like the confusion begins to fade and more of the emotion begins to kind of come out as she hugs you back even harder and kind of looks at you. You look at her, and what have you been up to? What have you been doing all of this time?
I've been looking for you. I've been living as you. I've been trying to create a life that you could come back to.
Like so I get to go back, and as far as they're concerned, I'm you, and they're not going to know any better, and I just get to live my life now?
It's your choice. We can go to them and tell them everything, or you can take your time and decide what you want to do about it, but there is a place for you to exist in whatever capacity you choose to at this point.
We'll still be friends, right?
Of course.
I mean,
If you would still want me as a friend after I was used to take you for you to be taken away.
yeah, but I don't know what it was about that guy. There was something strange about him. It was almost like he was collecting creatures, like magical creatures, for a purpose. I don't know. I think he thought that I was a magical creature. Because when he took me, a couple of the other creatures tried to defend me. He destroyed one of them, and one of them had injured his hand. So I think some blood was left behind. And then he used a teleportation circle to disappear. And we went through. He took me to the Hellcatch Valley. There was this stone citadel-like fortress on the edge of the main valley. He kept me there under watch and guard until, to be honest with you, the creatures that were watching me just kind of seemed to just disappear. That would have been about 10 years ago, I think, when it happened. And I wandered this empty citadel for a very long time. And when I was trying to figure a way out, I ran into this person. I believe she was a changeling. She was in her true form. And she described herself as Regina, and that she had been given orders by the Chandei Quorum to release me from the Citadel and bring me back to the city for further questioning. And other than that, I don't really know much of anything else.
Can I
You
roll
should rest
insight?
first.
Oh, yes, can I borrow your room then, if that's okay?
Yes, of course. And I I think she's just kind of too much in shock to glean too much out of this. But
And
she's
kind
just
of-
gonna
Go ahead.
she's gonna try and figure out like a space for her.
Okay.
And
You guys watch as Karina, now in her changeling form, leads the other Karina down the hallway and eventually into her room. You can hear them kind of muffled talking and setting up another sleeping area for Karina, leaving the four of you out on the veranda area.
Can I roll an insight check on that story to see if it
Yeah.
reminds me of a situation from 10 years ago?
Yeah, go for it.
That's a good one. That is a 24.
Yeah, you get the feeling that she was describing your old master.
Oh, I thought it was Crimp.
No. Shit. Shit.
But you know him to be dead as far as you know.
Right. He was dead.
He died with his flying citadel. He was killed by in combat and battle.
band
with
of heroes.
With a band of heroes. Yeah, one
they one really
particularly
strong
would
gnome.
streak across and like flame would yell. She would yell flame on and flame off. Would she?
Fireball across the
When Puck regales the story to people across the world, that's how she tells it. There were other people, but it was mostly me.
What
is it
would
for?
What would Mason have wanted to do with her? Why Mason was collecting creatures? What's her connection to the Fae?
Are you saying this out loud or are you thinking this?
Oh yeah, he's so in thought that the thoughts that are coming to him are coming out of his mouth at the same time.
Who's Mason?
Yes, and what do you mean he's collecting creatures? More. You
Not
seem
is,
a little bit distraught.
Was. Not is, was.
Can you tell us more about this figure?
He should be dead. He was dead. Hopefully,
tried-
he's dead. I think he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, you've tried to connect with him through magical means in your past, and the fact there was never a magical connection tells you he's dead, or at least not on this material plane. But as far as you know, he died in the fight out in the Lucidian Sea.
One of my first memories, there's a gap in time in my memory. I mean, I remember being a kid and going into the service of the Bright Queen, and then out doing some stuff, and then there's a gap in my memory, and then the next memory I have, I'm standing on the edge of this citadel in the middle of the sea, in the sky, in the middle of the sea, this great big battle going on all around me. And I've got bits and pieces of memory in between that, but not a whole lot to go off of. But I do remember the guy.
Can I roll an insight check on Thorn?
Sure.
That's a 20.
I mean, he's
22.
describing a point in time that you've known to be the last time the Fae existed, some 10 years ago. There's a known history that a great battle took place out in Lucidian Sea at the same time that the dedicated helm statue was discovered. Some great calamity, a clash of the Kreen and other powers that be at the time. And it's said that battle was a direct connection to the collapse of both the Shadowfell and the Fae. That's about the same time that you and your sister were kind of going through your challenges as well after the Fae was cut off.
Kurt, would Melody with a 22 sense any like guilt from Thorn, or does it feel like a pretty neutral?
It's more confusion because he doesn't remember a lot, but he remembers. Like the guilt is where he was on the tower and he really felt like he wasn't where he was supposed to be at that time.
Okay.
But it's confusion because he doesn't know why he was there and he doesn't know what happened in between. But he remembers that Mason, he wanted to reach out again to Mason for some reason. And he doesn't know why he wanted to do that. But he felt compelled to reach out. And now it's like another connection's popped up. And he's very confused right now.
So you were on the Citadel that she's talking about?
I don't know about one in a desert. We were over the ocean, in the middle of the ocean.
Okay.
I mean, he would be all over the place. He could go wherever he felt like, but my first memory, was standing on the edge of the Citadel and watching this man that I had such strong, loyal, I guess I could call, emotions for be destroyed, or so I expect. I mean, I couldn't feel him after that.
And how did you escape afterwards?
We got picked up. I mean, it wasn't just me. There were other people there too, but we got picked up as everything was crashing down. We got picked up by the vessels flying by.
Just 10 years seems like a really long time to be trapped in an empty citadel.
Right. Is it too much to ask to look at her teeth?
That feels Maybe
Little
tomorrow?
intrusive.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And I will show the bite marks. It's just scars.
hmm
I don't have any. A foreign doesn't have any fancy teeth, but he was feasted upon.
By whom?
Oh, by a
What?
vampire.
That's
Don't
what
think
Mason was the last time we fought him. Was
Oh.
so I'll show the bite marks, and I don't think he was collecting everything for this, but look, when we were down at the pyres right after the explosion, I had this sensation, feeling, vision, but it hurt. It wasn't like I saw a dream. I mean, it was like I saw a dream, but it's like the dream was attacking me. My nose started bleeding, but it was of that last moment on the edge of the citadel. But I could hear the voice in my head. And that voice was telling me I was doing a good job and to keep on killing. And it sounded good that there was supposed to be this conclave of the Bright Queen and Jamonsa Ord and some other higher ups are supposed to be coming here. And it was telling me that sounded like a good time. I kind of shrugged it off. I mean, it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years.
But weird that you hear that voice and then Regina goes and picks this girl up from the Citadel, very recently, right?
Right.
Why is it all happening at the same time?
I can try to reach out to him again, but I don't rightly want to.
I think we should get more information from this new Karina that's entered our life.
I think we should be on guard.
I would agree with you there.
On the bright side, we all rested up.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right. I'll go see if I can figure out how to make some coffee. And I also will drop a spell slot and binder while I go down.
Okay.
Because
Recharging him for the next day.
if we don't, he's not going to activate.
Yep. You got to recharge him every day.
Yep.
I mean, in fact, we can say you did that prior to your long rest to get him cycled
Okay.
for the next day. That's fine.
Okay.
That way it's
Yeah.
easier to keep track.
I'm going to cast Detect Magic. And just be looking at the door, at Corinna's door.
Okay.
And if I can see anything in there that's showing that shouldn't be in there, or that I wouldn't know to be in there.
Okay. I mean, you cast it, pulses out. You sense the magical connections to Corinna and the nearby magic items that other people carry. The Corinna that's talking to Changeling Corinna, you could hear them kind of it sounds like they're sitting and talking about everything that's happened. It sounds like Corinna is describing the fortress that she was in and the years of loneliness and uncertainty as to what she was supposed to be doing, couldn't find a way out, and how strange it was that this Regina person shows up after 10 years, to free her and to bring her back to Jrusar, and how strange it is that Corinna the Changeling kept up the secret, and now that she can go back, but she's also worried. What what if they notice that I'm missing? Does that mean they're going to go to my parents' house and look for me? As long as they thought they had me, they didn't know my parents didn't have me. And Karina, you weren't on their radar, but now you're going to be on, you're going to be. So she's like, she's going back and forth. She's confused. She's concerned. She's happy. She's just got like all these emotions kind of boiling out of her as she's trying to figure all this out. As far as you can tell, Farin, there's nothing,
no magic emanating from her or any effect or anything? Okay.
Nothing. She's just wearing some simple homespun tunic and, Muslim pants and leather boots, and she's got a simple cloak on. She was dressed very kind of, reservedly for someone who was being, held. And it just seems okay. Nothing out of the ordinary of their conversation. Two people that hadn't seen each other for 10 years. It feels like what you would do and say. But she's also a little scared and a little concerned as to what she should really do next. And, before long, your detect magic kind of fades.
So I'll turn back to the two of them, the three of them. I don't sense anything on at least nothing magical that I can feel. I don't know. If she's going to end up sleeping, I think still somebody should be here guarding. I don't mind to sit out here and keep a watch.
She also might have, she was in the portable hole. She might have some questions about that stone of ours too. So we definitely want to keep an eye on her.
Right.
You guys really don't know how to celebrate good news.
Hey, we did all this for you.
I will stop complaining. I will be thankful.
So, Karina, now that the real Karina's back, is there a different name that you should go by? Because it's going to be confusing for the group.
I think Karina kind of. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, or should other Karina, go by something else since she's trying to be undercover anyway, and we like our Karina better.
Aww. I think Changeling Karina has a lot of questioning to do. Up until now, her entire identity was bringing her back. It's like the only thing she did with her free time and personhood. So now that that's not going to be necessary in the same way, she's gonna have to figure out like a new prime identity.
So what does that do for your pact?
My pact is the same except for the fact that technically even though she did absolutely fucking nothing, the Raven Queen's responsibilities towards me are technically over, and I could also just get lost in like serving her instead. But she's like uncaring, but like not malicious. So hopefully that will not be too bad. But I don't know. Karina is gonna do some like soul searching now. That's gonna be her new motivation. She's gonna take knitting and like painting.
I don't think you're gonna find much if you're soul searching because you already gave it away, right?
Yeah, but you all kind of give it away to her eventually because she is collecting all of our souls unless they go to a much worse person.
So with that, you guys kind of do just some. Anybody want to work on anything before taking a short rest and then having the beginning of a new day start?
I'm gonna study the book, the Artificer book that I bought.
Okay, all right. Give me an investigation check as you do that. Anybody else?
I'm gonna do tiny hut, and I'm gonna make it like our childhood fort, and we're gonna have a great time.
Love it. Anybody else want to do anything before the long rest or the short rest will kick in? It'll be a new morning.
I'll put together some drinks and snacks for Karina and other Karina.
Oh,
And like set it on the outside of the tiny hut.
Yeah.
And pull it in, like you know.
I mean, you're welcome to the tiny
It's like-
hut whenever, you know that.
Yeah.
No, I won't intrude.
It's like
Well, if you
s'mores.
insist.
Anything
No,
you want to
I'm
work
not.
on, Air Trio?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So you guys kind of do some short rest activity, take the kind of, push through the remainder of the night, and eventually the sun rises on a daytime Jrusar. You can hear the city beginning to come alive, the sound of the Fate Walk Bridge. As all of you gather out on the veranda, the new morning, Karina has been set free. And you guys gather for an early morning meal that Thaddeus has put together, and kind of bringing out snack trays and drinks as you guys start a new day and try to figure out what to do next. And I think that's where we'll finish tonight.
I got an 18 on that investigation check.
Okay, I will bookmark that and we'll
Let's
resolve
go.
that next week. Everybody good for next week?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yes.
Cool.
indeed.
All right, everyone out there, thanks for watching. Don't forget, be safe, be kind, and don't forget to play a game. We'll see y'all next week. Bye, everybody. You guys go ahead and linger. See, one of these days I will have it already there, and I can do it.